Yeah, good afternoon and welcome to yet another online tutorial on microwaves and antennas. So, we have been discussing about general field expression of short electric dipole. So, for that, what we have done is we have placed our dipole along z-axis with center at origin, and at some general point with coordinates r, theta, phi, we found the field expressions. And how did we find that? We found the scalar electric potential first, right? Of course, it is retarded potential. Then we found electric field vector as negative gradient of the potential, right? We found it as negative gradient of potential, and similarly, we found ER and E theta are present, but E phi is equal to 0. Why? Maybe it's because of the symmetry involved, or the potential itself is not a function of phi. So because of that, ER and E theta are there. So these are the general expressions for ER and E theta. So I told you, right? So how to, like, you don't have to struggle remembering this. It's why? Because this equation has some sense. It makes some sense, right? So electric field, the cause for electric field is actually what? Charge, right? So this ER and E theta, they are dependent upon I naught and L. Of course, if current is more charge will be accumulated, right? So they are dependent upon I naught, and of course, if length is more length can accommodate more charge, right? So it is proportional to L, right? And ER is proportional to actually what? Sine theta, right? I've drawn you the pattern. Sine theta will be, right? So I think it's the reverse, right? It's the reverse. So the ER should be proportional to cos theta, right? I have written it wrong. ER should be proportional to cos theta, and E theta should be proportional to sine theta. So ER, if you plot ER along, right, the pattern will be like this. Maximum will be along theta equal to 0, and if you plot E theta along, the pattern will be actually what? A sinusoid pattern, right? So this is what we have seen. This is a general field expression. When I say general, it is applicable for both near and far field. And as you know, we can divide an antenna field zone into two regions. One is a near zone, which is actually what? Nearer to the antenna, and the far field, right? So when so if I need to actually write expression for far field, right? So you can see ER, right? In ER we have actually 1 by CR square and 1 by j omega r cube. So it is 1 by r square and 1 by r cube term. So if R is very high, if R is actually very large, then 1 by r square and 1 by r cube terms can be neglected. They'll almost tend to 0. So I can neglect that, right? So this ER will be 0 in far field, ER will be equal to 0, and E theta will be equal to I naught L sine theta e power j omega t minus r by c divided by 4 pi epsilon naught times c square r, and also there should be a j omega, right? There should be a j omega, right? So it's actually a phasor, right? It's actually a phasor, right? So this e power j, argument of e power j, whatever comes with that actually corresponds to phase. And of course this multiplication with j, that also means a 90-degree phase shift. So I have written mode of e theta, right? Magnitude of e theta, right? So what you have to keep in mind is E itself is a vector, right? E itself is a vector, right? And magnitude of a vector, right? Magnitude of a vector, it can be a complex quantity, right? It can be a complex quantity. It can be a phasor. So I want you to just actually keep this in mind. So this E theta itself is a phasor. So when I say mode of E theta, that is the magnitude of that phasor, right? Mode of E theta will be omega I naught L sine theta, then divided by 4 pi c square epsilon naught r. So this is mode of E theta. This is what we have seen yesterday, right? This is what we have seen yesterday. We found the electric field. Say we derived the far field expression for electric field intensity. Then I told you how to actually remember these things, ER and E theta, right? In this I naught L, right? One is cos theta, one is sine theta, and in one place it is 2 pi epsilon naught. In other place actually it's exactly half E theta, right? So it's actually exactly half. And for ER, we have only actually what? R square and R cube terms, right? 1 by R square and 1 by R cube terms. That is 1 by CR square and 1 by J omega R cube. So those two terms are present in E theta. Along with that, we have an additional term, J omega divided by C square R, right? So you don't really have to actually find the gradient of this retarded potential V, right? But by logic, right? So the cause for electric field is actually charge. So by keeping that in mind, you will be able to write this expression, right, using your logic, right? You don't have to simply by heart it as well. So if you don't remember it, I bet, right, if you take the retarded potential V and if you find the gradient of that, you will be getting ER and D theta, and of course E phi will be 0. Why? Because we don't have any phi term in our potential. So this is what we have done, right? So this is the electric field. Now we have to find the magnetic field expression, right? We have to find the magnetic field expression, right? So to find magnetic field, I'll write here general expression for magnetic field. Right. In fact, if we were interested only in far field, right? In far field, electric and magnetic fields are related through actually the intrinsic impedance of free space. But unfortunately, we are not only interested in far field. We need a general expression, and from that we have to actually narrow down to far field. That's what we are going to do. So for that again, right? We are using the same thing. We are placing the dipole along z-axis. We are placing dipole along z-axis. We are considering a very small length dz, right? A very small length dz, right? So, and this distance is r, and this distance is actually s, right? So now we are interested in what is the vector magnetic potential, right? What is the vector magnetic potential? Differential A, right? So I have put it inside a square bracket just to show it is actually retarded magnetic potential. It's a retarded potential. I have put it inside a square bracket. I'm not drawing the say system again, right? So we need to find what is this? What is vector magnetic potential? For that, I know, right? We can use analogy between V and A, right? We can use analogy between V and A, right? So if you ask me, so in V expression is actually what? V expression is, it is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R, and A expression, vector A expression will be, it is I dl divided, right? Okay, maybe I'll tell you the analogy first. Analogy. So what happens is Q will become actually IDL, which means the cause for electric field is charge, right? And similarly, the cause for actually magnetic field is current carrying conductor, a conductor carrying current. So I is the current and DL is the differential length. Its unit will be ampere meter, right? IDL, its unit will be ampere meter, right? And 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, right? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught in this expression will become mu naught by 4 pi. So where epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space and mu naught is the permeability of free space, right? And that R will be R itself. R will be R itself. So keeping that in mind, right? So dA I can write, dA expression I can write now. Right? It's retarded dA and it's a vector, right? It's a vector dA. This will be equal to, I can write mu naught by 4 pi. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught will become mu naught by 4 pi. And instead of Q, I should write actually IDL. And here DL is actually DZ, right? DL is DZ. So I am interested in the differential vector potential, vector magnetic potential due to this differential unit, right? So at a distance S. So it is differential vector magnetic potential. I have not written it. Okay, I know it's understood, right? So mu naught by 4 pi times this Q will become actually I DL. Q will become IDL and by R will become actually by R itself. So instead of R, I should be writing S here, right? Instead of R, the distance is actually S. So I should be writing S. So this is dA. So I'm calling it equation number 1 of today's class, right? So it is mu naught by, so dA is And what will be its direction? What will be the direction? So this dl is a vector, right? So this dl, it can be a vector, and this dl is actually what? So I'll rewrite it. So this dA, right? dA will be actually what? Mu naught by 4 pi along I dz divided by s along az cap. So what you have to keep in mind is the direction of vector magnetic potential is the direction in which the current flows, or the direction of the differential length element IDL, right? Differential length element DL, right? So that will be the direction. So it's directed along z axis. So if you see at this point, the vector magnetic potential, it's a vector, it is actually what? Directed along z axis or az cap, right? So this is the direction of dA. So now what I need to do is I need to find out the total vector magnetic potential. To find total vector magnetic potential, what I should do is I should integrate this over the structure of which I want to find the total magnetic potential. So the total potential, I'll write total vector magnetic potential, total A, will be equal to integral over the structure, whichever it is. Now it will be integral, right? Integral over the structure, right? Integral over the structure, dA, integral over the structure, dA. The direction is going to be along az cap only, right? Direction is going to be along az cap only, right? Integral of this dA. So that will be equal to mu naught by 4 pi. So here, what and all will be changing at each and every point. Actually, we don't know, right? The current may change, right? At each and every point, we don't know, the current may change. Right, so this I should be actually what? It should be retarded current. Sorry, this I should be retarded current. Right, I should be retarded current. So at each and every point, the current may change. I don't know. Right. So initially, what I'm doing is I'm just writing down the general case. Right. Then at the end, what I'll do is I'll approximate it to short electric dipole. I told initially itself, this short electric dipole, it's practically not realizable. Right. Why we are studying this? We can assume any other practical thin non-linear antenna as a continuum or a series of short electric dipoles. So the general expression is what I'll be deriving initially, right? Then from there we'll specialize to short electric dipole, right? So this procedure is common for any other dipole, right? Any other length, right? So it's mu naught by 4 pi. So this I dz, right? It is a variable, and I is a variable and S is also variable. So I can write integral. Right, integral. So it's actually what? I dz divided by S. S also will change, right? If you consider the topmost point, S will be equal to S1. And if you consider the bottommost point, S will be equal to actually what? S2. So this structure is actually what? Spanning from minus L by 2 to L by 2, as we have placed it along Z axis with its center at origin, right? So this is actually what? Integration with respect to Z, right? You can see this is integration with respect to Z. So the limit should be minus L by 2 to L by 2. Integration with respect to Z minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. That is actually the, so this will be the expression for A. And this is directed along AZ cap. This is directed along AZ cap. So I can straight away write, it has only Z component. A has got only Z component. A vector A is equal to actually what? AZ small az cap, where small az cap was actually the unit vector along Z axis, right? So I can straight away write AZ is equal to mu naught by 4 pi integral L by minus L by 2 to L by 2 I dz divided by S. So this is actually the this is the vector magnetic potential, right? So now we know actually what this I is equal to, retarded current I is equal to I naught e power j omega t minus S by C. We know this retarded current I is equal to, right, I naught e power j omega t minus S by C. Where if you assume this R is actually what? Larger compared to L. If R is larger compared to L, what I can approximate is, I can approximate actually what I can approximate S1 is equal to S is equal to say S2 is equal to R. I can come up with this approximation if R is very large, right? So almost, so it's for our convenience, right? It's for our convenience. So I'm assuming S is equal to R. I can put S is equal to R here. S is equal to R, where R will be nothing but what? R is the distance of the point from origin. So that will be a constant. So R is the distance of the point from origin. So if I substitute that, it is equal to mu naught by 4 pi integral z from minus L by 2 to L by 2 I naught e power j omega t minus R by C divided by divided by S. Again I can put as actually what? R, right? S, I'm substituting it as R. Put S is equal to R, as R is much greater compared to L. This is an assumption, right? This is an assumption. If you miss out this, there will be a confusion, right? So this assumption, right? It won't create any issue in our final result, right? So you can, it's a right, valid assumption. If R is much great, we can assume S is equal to R, as we don't have any actually what. As we are neglecting the thickness, we are assuming D is much less compared to L and R is much greater than L. This assumption actually what won't make any serious issues in our final result, right? So this in times dz. So here, do we have any z dependent term? I naught is a constant, omega is a constant, t is independent of z, r again is a constant. Wherever you consider z, r is the distance of the point from the center of the antenna. So R is again a constant, C is independent of Z. So I can take this entire thing outside the integral. I can take this entire thing outside the integral. So the integral is actually what? Integral dz, right? So this is equal to mu naught by 4 pi I naught e power j omega t minus R by C, right? Divided by 4 pi R I can write, right? Times integral dz, integral dz from minus L by 2 to L by 2. So what will be this integral dz from minus L by 2 to L by 2? That will be equal to L. So the final expression for AZ becomes, the final expression for AZ becomes, right, AZ is equal to mu naught L I naught e power j omega t minus R by C divided by 4 pi R, right? So this is the final expression for AZ, right? Now we found the magnitude of the vector magnetic potential, and it has got only Z component. So if you consider the antenna as like this, right, and if you consider the point P and the direction of A will be actually what? Along Z axis. Direction of A will be along AZ cap. Direction of A will be along AZ cap. And you know the direction of AR cap, unit vector along R will be like this, AR cap. And this angle is theta, so is this angle. This angle is theta, so is this angle, right? And if you see, say this is, if this is Z axis, right? If this is Z axis, right? So theta is increasing in this direction. Theta is increasing in this direction. So A theta will be actually what? Perpendicular to this AR cap and tangential to this longitude. I told you yesterday itself. So this is actually what? A theta. This is A theta cap, right? And phi is actually what? Changing like this. Phi is changing like this. But AZ cap is perpendicular to actually what? A phi cap. Why? Because, right, you know, in R theta and phi, they are in actually what? Cylindrical coordinate system. So sorry, not R theta phi, rho phi and Z, right? They form the references of cylindrical coordinate system. And this aero cap, A phi cap and AZ cap, they are mutually orthogonal. So this AZ cap and A phi cap are actually what? Mutually orthogonal, right? So A phi cap is also there. So now, why I told that is, right, so this is in Cartesian, AZ. But finally what we need is actually, I have to take a curl in spherical coordinate, right? But whatever vector is available with us, it's actually in Cartesian, right? That is the problem, right? So we'll face that problem. So before that, right, so we have our AZ, so I will call it equation number 2, right? Of today's class, you can put the other equation number. So this is equation number 2, right? So what I have is A is equal to vector A, right? It should be retarded, okay? Retarded vector A is equal to retarded AZ along AZ cap. So this is our vector, right? Now, how can I find out H, magnetic field intensity vector? Magnetic field intensity vector can be found out as 1 by mu naught. Okay, 1 second. 1 by mu naught times del cross A. It can be found out as 1 by mu naught times del cross A. Now we need to discuss about the curl of a vector. So yeah, that too we have to calculate it in spherical coordinate. Right? We have to calculate it in spherical coordinate. Right, now at this moment I would like to stop and I would like to take, if you have any questions, right? Are you clear with this? What we have discussed so far, starting from positioning our short dipole, then we considered a differential element along that, then we found the differential magnetic potential due to that differential element, then we integrated that over the structure, over the dipole, right? It was a line integral for our luck, right? So then we found this magnetic potential, and we found the magnetic potential has got only Z component, and that Z component we have now, or the vector can be written as whatever AZ is written here in equation 2 along AZ cap. That is our vector. Next, what we need to do is we need to find the general expression for magnetic field intensity, right? That will be 1 by mu naught times del cross A, curl of our vector magnetic potential. So that is what I have discussed so far. I would like to hear if you have any queries, any questions, any doubt. Right. And yesterday, many of you told you had doubt in that how that potential, scalar potential expression we got as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by s1 minus q by s2. Many had doubt. So same doubt, right? In when I was taking class for A section, specifically one of the students asked, so I have explained it. So maybe you can, I posted that video in YouTube. You can watch that, right? You can watch that, how it came, right? So maybe I have just explained it in depth, right? So if you want, you can watch that. I have posted that video just now before the class. I posted that. You can watch that. But here, any doubts? Any doubts? Please do type. Can I go ahead, or we should pause here for some time for you to digest it? Please do type in. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what is the expression for curl in spherical coordinate. Right. Then we'll see which and all components H has. Then we'll write the final expression for H. Right. Is it okay? Please, at least some of you, if you respond, I'll be going ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Savant. What about others? Yeah. What about others? Okay. Maybe I would like to ask a question. Right. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think is the difficulty level of this particular topic? Everyone. I need everyone to respond, please. Right. So far I have discussed, right, something. Right. So what I've done is I have a short conductor, right, which will radiate. We need to find what is the electric and magnetic field at some distance r. We found V, we found E. Now I'm going to find the vector magnetic potential and find H. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think is the difficulty level of this particular topic? Please do type in. I need everyone to type in, please. No, I bet I won't ask. If, now that you told its difficulty level is very high, why is that? That question, that why question for the time being, I won't ask. Yeah. Yes, I need everyone to respond, please. I asked difficulty level, right? I didn't ask on a scale of 1 to 10 how much did you understand. It's okay. I think it's 7 means it's right. It's quite difficult. It's not average. It's above average difficulty level. Okay, fine. Right. Yeah, we will. I'll continue. Right. Thank you for responding. So now we have to find H as 1 by mu naught times del cross A, right? So how to write curl expression in spherical coordinate? So as I told yesterday, right, in general curvilinear coordinate system, suppose you have some, right, references U, V, and W, right? This U, V, and W can be X, Y, Z, R, theta, phi, or rho, phi, Z, right? So in general, if you study the expressions for divergence, curl, gradient, Laplacian, all those things, right, it's easy. So I'll draw the table of yesterday once again. Again, H1, H2, H3, U, V, and W. Right, H1, H2, H3, U, V, and W. So can anyone help me out in filling this? For Cartesian, what is this H1, H2, H3? Cartesian, cylindrical, and spherical. Please do help me out. Right, we have seen this yesterday. So if I may ask Savan, can you please tell me what is H1, H2, H3, U, V, W in Cartesian? All are there?
It's 1, 1, sir. Then
Yeah,
one row 1.
1, 1, 1, and row.
One
Sorry,
row
X,
1.
Y, Z. X, Y, Z. In Cartesian, it is 1,
Yeah.
1, 1, X, Y, Z. Cylindrical, it is 1 row 1 and row phi Z. And in spherical, it is 1 R and sine theta, R, theta, and phi. Right. So this is the table which you have to remember. Now, the expression for curl, I can represent it as a determinant. Right. So del cross A. Right. Suppose A has components AR or AU cap plus AV cap. In general, I am telling plus AW small AW cap, right? So this del cross A can be written as 1 by H1, H2, H3 determinant H1 AU cap, H2. Sorry, I think I should write it. AU cap, H2 AV cap, H3 AW cap, right? Then dou by dou U, dou by dou V, dou by dou W, and H1 AU, H2 AV, and H3 AW. This is how you can write. It's a determinant, right? This is how you can write curl in general code. So from this, if you remember this, you can straight away write this for actually what Cartesian, cylindrical, or spherical, whatever. Right. So now, in our case, we need to write it in terms of spherical, right? So del cross A in spherical coordinate system will be, I'll write here, del curl in spherical coordinate system will be 1 divided by 1 into R sine theta. So that will be 1 by R square sine theta times determinant of H1 is 1. So H1 AU cap will be AR cap. Then H2 AV cap, that will be R A theta cap. Then R sine theta A phi cap, right? R sine theta A phi cap. Then second row is dou by dou R, dou by dou theta, and dou by dou phi. Then we have 1 into AR, right? So AR is 1 into AR. Then R times A theta and R sine theta times A phi, R sine theta times A phi. So this is what is the expression, right? So we are assuming in spherical coordinate vector A can be written as AR cap plus A theta cap plus A phi along the unit vector in phi direction, right? So we are assuming that. But what we have now is, one second. Give me a moment. Yeah. So, but what we have now is we have A is equal to in Cartesian, that is az cap we have, right? Okay. az cap. So from this, how can I transform, right? So I have a vector, right? I have a vector in Cartesian. I have to transform it into actually what? Spherical. That is what we have to do now, right? So of course I can write, as it has got only z component, straight away I can write phi component will be 0, right? Phi component will be 0. Why? Because z, if it has got only z component, z and phi are orthogonal, they are perpendicular to each other. So component of z along phi will be actually what? Cosine of angle between them, right? So magnitude times cosine of angle between them, cosine of 90 degree, that is going to be 0. So of course I can write phi and z can be phi and this can be 0. So how to find AR, A theta and A phi? Now you have to help me out. I'll give you some time, right? Maybe 30 seconds or so. You have to tell me how to transform a vector from Cartesian to spherical. Right. I have seen Mahesh sir was teaching you this wonderfully, right? So either you can tell I forgot, right? You can't tell you haven't studied it. How to do this? Can anyone help me out? Right? I just want to know whether you remember or not, right? It's not evaluate you or anything, right? Yeah. Anyone can help me out in this? Or should I ask Google? Why today all are very dull, or why no response? Again, show started running in background. Is it? Right. Okay. Maybe. So should I tell how to convert? So this, and one more thing, this is not exactly required, right? You write AZ, then this is the expression for this, and if you write the final expression, that would be more than sufficient for your exam, right? Mohammad Anjar, what happened? It's frozen, right? Okay. Do you have any new memes or trolls of me? Please do post here. I'll also, let me also see, right? Okay, so I'll maybe before we do that, I'll just write the expression for del cross A, right? I'll write the expression for del. I'll expand it. So it is 1 by r square sine theta, 1 by r square sine theta into, right? So it is AR cap times dou by dou theta times this, dou by dou theta of this minus dou by dou phi of this. So that is dou by dou theta of r, so dou by dou r, sorry, dou by dou theta of r sine theta A phi minus dou by dou phi of r A theta, right? So this is the first term along AR cap. Then second term would be minus, right? Minus of r A theta cap, I'll write at the end, right? R A theta cap into dou by dou r of r sine theta A phi. So that is dou by dou r of r sine theta A phi minus dou by dou phi of AR, minus dou by dou phi of AR, right? Then again it's along, right? So this along r A theta cap. This r is actually outside of the derivative, okay? This r is outside the derivative. You can't bring it inside, right? Please don't bring this r outside, inside. It's outside the derivative. You have to keep that in mind, right? So then, anyway, we don't have to solve it. And anyway, it's going to be 0, fine. So we don't have to struggle much. So then last term again will be plus, right? So it will be r sine theta times, right? This row and column you have to win. So it is dou by dou r of r A theta, dou by dou r of r A theta minus dou by dou theta of AR, minus dou by dou theta of AR. So this is the expression, right, along A phi cap. This is the expression along A phi cap. So if you see, this is dou by a phi. We know a phi is 0. Everywhere I can substitute a phi is 0. A phi is 0. So here dou by dou phi of r into a theta. In a theta, even if you are getting a theta will not have any phi. So this term also will be 0. We will verify that this term also will be 0. Then again dou by dou r of here a phi is there. So that term will be 0. Again dou by dou phi of ar, this term also will be 0. So only this term will survive. Only this term will survive. So finally what will survive is I'll write, that is what right, to del cross A. Finally what will survive is del cross A is equal to, right, so this r sin theta is there, that I can r sin theta divided by r square sin theta. So it will be 1 by r. Finally what, so this r sin theta and 1 by r square sin theta. So it will be only 1 by r will survive, right? Then dou by dou r of r a theta, dou by dou r of r a theta minus dou by dou theta of ar, dou by dou theta of ar along a phi cap. So it has got only phi component, right? So which means r component is 0, hr is 0, r component of h is 0, and theta component again is 0, h theta is also 0. Only phi component. H has got only actually what? Phi component. It's not actually what, there should be what? 1 mu naught also, right? So h is equal to 1 by mu naught del cross A, again 1 by mu naught r times this, right? So it has got only phi component. H has got only phi component, right? So this is, right, I know things are getting complicated. Should I stop here? Shall we wind up the subject here? Right, maybe we'll tell some other story. Right, we don't want the subject. I hate this subject, seriously. Is it like that? But it's a sure question, and for exam you don't have to write this in detail, but at least, right, you should know how it has come. In case if you, right, you memorized the end result, and if you forget that, then you should be able to solve it, right? We have time won't be a problem for us, right? So that's why I'm telling, right, these things are not given in your textbook. So right, so it's, please pay a good attention here, right? So if you do that, right, so what I can write is, right, so I need to find what is a theta and ar, right? A phi already will be 0. A phi will be 0. We have to find a theta and ar. So to find a theta and ar, theta component of a vector and r component of a vector, right? So you have a vector A, right, and a cap is a unit vector along vector A, and you have another vector B, right, vector B. What is my question is, what is the component of B along the vector A? What is the component of B along vector A? If this angle is theta, what is the component of B along vector A? So component of any given vector along any given direction, right? So that will be given by, I'll write here in this case, component of vector B along magnitude of component of, actually, right, along vector A, that will be given by vector B dot a cap, where a cap is actually what? Unit vector in that direction. You might have studied this. This is the very basic principle of conversion of vector from one coordinate to another, right? So a conversion from one coordinate to another. So now in our case, right, so we have this, right, r, right, ar cap is like this, and our vector az is like this, right? So vector A is like this, right, and a theta cap will be like this. So this will be a theta cap, unit vector, right? This angle is 90 degree, and all these are in the same plane, okay? And this angle is actually what? Theta, right? So I can write AR, right? AR will be equal to vector A dot AR cap, vector A dot AR cap, and I can write A theta is equal to vector A dot A theta cap, right? So this I can write, please pay very good attention, right? This I can write magnitude of A times magnitude of AR cap times cosine of angle between the vectors. What is angle between vector A and AR cap? That is theta, right? And mode of AR cap, this is equal to 1, and magnitude of A is nothing but what? AZ. Magnitude of A is nothing but AZ. So I can write AR is equal to AZ cos theta. AR is equal to AZ cos theta, right? And similarly, what is A theta? Again, mode of A times mode of A theta. So magnitude of A will be actually what? AZ. Magnitude of A theta will be 1. And what is angle between A and A theta? Angle between A and A theta cap. Can anyone tell me what is angle between A and A? Angle between A and AR is theta, but AR itself is making an angle 90 degree with A theta. So this much angle
90 plus theta.
It will be 90 plus theta. Excellent, right? It will be 90 plus theta, right? You have already studied this, but again I am repeating. So times cosine of 90 plus theta, right? AZ cos of 90 plus theta, and cos of 90 plus and 90 minus theta, that will be sine. But my question is, it is plus or minus sine? Cos of 90 plus theta, it is plus sine or minus sine? Please tell me. I need help. Cos of 90 plus theta, is it plus sine theta or minus sine theta? Right. Again, ASTC, all silver teacups, or all students took coffee or whatever. In first quadrant, all are actually what? Positive. Second quadrant, sine is positive. 90 plus theta will be, this is 90 plus theta, it will fall in actually what? Second quadrant, right? So in second quadrant, sine is positive. So it is AZ sine theta. A theta is equal to AZ sine theta. Where AZ is, can you tell me what is AZ now? AZ, we found AZ to be equal to, AZ is, what is AZ? Mu naught L I naught e power j omega t minus r by c divided by 4 pi r. This is A naught. So AR is actually what? This times cos theta. We have this, right? And A theta is this times sine theta. Then you have to apply these things, right? AZ, AR, A theta, all those things in this particular expression, right? 1 by mu naught r, dou by dou r of r A theta minus dou by dou theta of AR, right? If you do that, for sure, you will get the following expression. I am not doing it, and that is not exactly required for your exam. But these steps you should write. And if you put these expressions in expression of curl, for sure, you will get that. Right. So I can write h, magnitude of h, right? That is equal to h phi. So there is a difference between magnitude of a vector and magnitude of a phasor. Right. So I leave it to you. If you don't have any confusion, right? So I'm just confusing you by asking a question. What is the difference between magnitude of a vector and magnitude of a phasor? Can magnitude of a vector be a phasor? Can magnitude of a vector be a complex number? Right. Those are the questions which I have. Right. It's up. You can find it out. Not a problem. Right. So h phi, it will be equal to, right? Again, it's proportional to actually what? I naught. It's proportional to L. It's proportional to I naught, and it's proportional to L. And it is actually what? It's a function of sine theta, right? It's a function of sine theta. So if you have just like this, right? So the magnetic field at the ends, it will be actually what? Less. And as you move towards the center, right? Why? Because at the ends, if you have a conductor open like this, at the ends, current will be zero. If current is zero, magnitude of magnetic field will be less, and as you move towards the middle, current is increasing, so magnetic field will be more towards the center, and it will be less actually what? At the ends. So it actually what takes sine theta pattern. So for this, that's right. If you want to understand this in a very beautiful way, again and again I request you to watch Suresh sir's video, right? Suresh VSR. He has explained all these things, all these aspects in a very wonderful way, right? So, so it's proportional to sine theta, and again, as usual, we have our e power j omega t minus r by c right, divided by our 4 pi is there, right, divided by 4 pi. Then we have some r terms, right, we will have some r terms. So what are those r terms? So one term is actually what? J omega divided by, so one term, I'll just verify that, right, 1 second. One term will be j omega divided by CR. So j omega divided by CR plus 1 by R square. So this is the magnetic field expression, right? This is the magnetic field expression, right? General expression for magnetic field, right? So what you have to do? You have to apply curl, right? You can write that expression. This expression, sorry, I have written it earlier, right? So this expression you write, and you write what is A theta and AR. Then by putting all these things in this particular equation, we will get the final result like this. But it makes sense, this equation. You don't have to simply by heart it, right? Because magnetic field is proportional to current, right? As length increases, what will happen? The magnetic field will of course increase, right? Why? Because that much region will hold current. If more region is there, that much region can radiate. So magnetic radiation is going to increase. So as length increases, that is going to increase, right? And of course, it's actually what proportional to omega, right? It's proportional to, as frequency increases, the power radiated will be more, and it follows actually what? Sin theta. And expression of H, right? You can see it doesn't have any mu naught term, right? In this, you don't have any mu naught term in the expression of H. Mu naught term will come in expression of B, right? In the expression of magnetic flux density, mu naught term will come. In the expression of H, we don't have any mu naught term. So this is general expression. This is general expression. And in far field, what will happen? So can anyone tell me what will be far field expression? In far field, H phi will be equal to I naught L sin theta e power j omega t minus r by c divided by 4 pi. What will happen is, in far field, r is actually what? Very large. So 1 by r square terms can be actually what? Neglected. 1 by r square will tend to 0. So you can neglect that. So what we have is by CR, and 1 j omega should be here, right? 1 j omega should be here. So this is the expression, right? This is the expression for H phi, right? And again, the magnitude will be mode of H phi. Now this is actually what? This is a complex number. Magnitude of that complex number is what? So I told magnitude of a vector is a complex number, and further I am writing magnitude of that complex number. Mode of H phi will be omega I naught L sin theta. This e power j blah blah blah, we don't have to consider. Why? Because it deals with theta, right? It's an angle, right? Divided by 4 pi CR. This is magnitude of far field magnetic field, right? Magnitude of far field magnetic field, right? So now, if you find what is magnitude of far field electric field and magnitude of far field magnetic field, right, you should get this to be equal to root of mu naught by epsilon naught, right? That is equal to Z naught, and that should be equal to 120 pi. That is equal to actually what? Intrinsic impedance of free space. You should get that. You can try out that. You can try out that. What is E theta? Can anyone tell me what is E theta? Magnitude of E theta in far field. Mode of E theta in far field. It is omega I naught L sin theta divided by, what is that? Can you please tell me? Divided by
4 pi epsilon naught c square r.
4 pi epsilon naught c
Square r.
4 pi
epsilon naught c square r.
Epsilon naught c square r, right? So this is, if you divide E theta by H phi, what is that you are getting, right? So what you have to remember is C is actually what? 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught. C is 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught. So if you divide these two, so omega and omega will get cancelled, right? And I naught will get cancelled. L sin theta, this entire numerator will be cancelled. 4 pi, one R will get cancelled, C will get cancelled. What will remain is, right, I can write E theta divided by H phi mode in far field, okay, in far field, not the general case. that will be equal to what is left out is 1 by epsilon naught c, 1 by epsilon naught c, and c is actually what, 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught. So c, if I substitute 1 by root of mu naught epsilon naught, I can write as root of mu naught epsilon naught divided by epsilon naught, and that is equal to root of mu naught by epsilon naught, and this is actually what, intrinsic impedance of free space, that is equal to 120 pi, or that is equal to 377 ohm, right? So basically what we could have done is with eta, you would have obtained H5. So I'll just wind up here. I've taken 1 minute extra, sorry, right? So that's what I wanted to tell in today's class, right? So that's it for today, right? So I'll make this video available. I know it's a little bit difficult, but for exam you don't have to struggle. So tomorrow what I'll do is, if it is for exam, what is that you have to write? I'll straight away tell that, right? Okay, we'll wind up. Shall we wind up? Yes, I guess. Okay, fine. Thank you.